Top 5 gaming CPUs. Warzone and single player. 10900Ks, that's the top. 5950X is second. Third place. It's tricky. Third place is like the 5800X and the 10980XE. These are kind of tied. You know what? I would give it to the 10980XE actually, because it would get higher lows in single player games. That scale with cores, like more than 8 cores. I would give this one by like a hair, dude. 5800X is next. Then the next one, I mean, and 10850, I would say, okay, sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are the same shit, just but it's synonymous, right? I would say the 9900K and the 5900X kind of tie. Oh, what the hell? These tie. This one for single player games. This one if you stream and do other stuff at the same time. So if you're streaming the single player game, this one. If you're only playing the single player game, this one. That goes for VR too. If you're playing VR, it has to be this one, period. Doesn't matter. I would say that is how it rolls. You'll see in the benchmarks, when I get the benchmarks out for this one literally only loses by like 5% to this one. This is crazy, dude. And I have a pretty bad binned one. If I had a higher binned one, I could probably get it closer. Well, you know what? You know what's interesting? Okay, you know what? You know what's interesting? My 10900K is 5.4 gigahertz on 10 cores, but my 10980XE is 5 gigahertz on 18 cores, right? So I probably get more FPS with this than most people do with their 10900Ks. It's just this one is the best out of the samples that I have, right? It doesn't mean that. Oh yeah, where would you put 11900K? I guess you could put that down here, or 11900K. Yeah, you can put that down here, I suppose. Well, I actually have one of these, but I haven't benchmarked it yet. But I know this gets insane FPS in Warzone, though. This one does. This one destroys that 5900X in Warzone, but you can't stream with it at the same time. That's why I usually don't recommend it. But yeah, but okay, you know what the thing is? Aside from this tier down here, all of these ones are like within 15 FPS of each other in Warzone. Like, who gives a shit? Or like, we're talking such OCD levels of a FPS. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such OCD levels of FPS that if you had any one of these, you're laughing. You know what I mean? You're stomping the competition. Do you know what I mean? Or you know what? If you're a streamer and you're on a single PC, this one. Dude, do you know what I was testing the other day with this thing? I was like 10980XE. I had a capture. Hang on. We're gonna do a little bit of spoiler here. This is gonna be a separate video though. I had a 10980XE. The first slot was a 3090, and this had 16 lanes, right? And then I had a capture card, an Elgato capture card. Then I had a 2080 Ti down here. This was 8 lanes, and I had an NVMe RAID card, right? So like this had 8 lanes. So what I was doing was I had the HDMI out from the 3090 into the capture card, and then I captured the footage on my 2080 Ti and did the rendering on this shit. I had like 250 FPS on a single PC streaming and rendering at the same time, dude. It's the coolest shit ever. You have no idea. It's so cool. And I was doing it. I'm like, oh my God. I have a 2 PC setup in a single PC. No FPS dips, dude. It's the coolest shit. Like, you have no idea. But you still need a capture card to do it. You know what I mean? Because you need some way to clone the image from the first graphics card into the second one. And you can't do it through Windows. Like you still need a capture card to do it. It's really, and the average user would not be able to set that up. There's a lot of rigmarole of settings and shit to do it that way, but I got it to work, man. It's so cool. It is the coolest shit ever. Let me catch you up here, guys. Rick Star, tier 1, my man. That'll be a separate video. It'll be titled like the ultimate single PC Warzone well, how would I even, the ultimate single PC Warzone streaming machine, something like that. That's what that video is going to be, the 1090 XE, pretty much, because no other chip. The 5950X might be able to do that though. Granted, I haven't tried. You know why? Maybe because maybe this is even better at it, to be honest. But you know what? Because the 5950X only has 20 lanes, but that's all you need to do the rigmarole that I was doing, right? So the first slot, you would have your 3090 on 8 PCIe 4 lanes, which is the same as 16 PCIe 3 lanes, right? The second slot would be your 1650 Super or whatever you're going to use for rendering and recording, right? This is also on 8 lanes. This doesn't need more lanes to record and render. The last slot, the chipset slot, you throw in your capture card. You have everything you need to do like a dual PC in one setup. And then you mirror from the 3090 into the capture card into the second GPU, and then you can record without an FPS hit. I haven't tried that, but now that I know how to do it, that might be a good video idea too. Later, I can always like rigmarole that on my wife's rig, right? It's you know what I mean? You can. If you have a 5950X, you don't really need a second. I don't know yet, but the 5950X might be able to do that too. It might, because it has just enough lanes and slots to be able to do it, right?